Moving into or around the Omaha area and wondering how to make your upcoming move even easier? Believe it or not, I have moved over 30 times in my life, and I've learned one or two things the hard way. I've also picked up some tips and tricks along the way, and I would love to help you learn from my mistakes. Plus, stay tuned. At the end, I've got an epic free download of a checklist that you can't miss out on. I'm Kristi Wampler with the Shawn team at Nebraska Realty, and as I mentioned, I have moved over 30 times in my life, so I have literally been around the block a couple times when it comes to moving. I am sure you'll find a few gems when it comes to this list, because these are some things that we found to be priceless when it comes to our moving process. Item number 1, labeled tape. I did not know this was a thing until the umpteenth move. This is tape that literally has the name of the room on the roll of tape. And so when you're closing up your boxes, instead of labeling, you can just actually put the piece of tape on, and that's how you know what room it goes to. So keeps it super convenient as you're moving through the house and packing things up. You have the corresponding roll of tape with the room that you're in. And even for the bedrooms, they have like bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3. And so when you get to the new place, you can also take a small piece of this and just kind of put it on the door frame of the room. This way, when people are moving things in, they can say, oh, okay, well, this color of tape, they don't even need to read it. They just know that I'm carrying a box that has the blue tape. That goes in the room that has the blue label in it. Another tip kind of along those same lines is rather than labeling just the top of the boxes, make sure that you're labeling the sides. So if you decide not to go the route of using my favorite tape, that's like an adult thing to say, right? Because, you know, who has a favorite tape when you're like 20? Anyway, to make sure that you are labeling the side of the box instead of just the top. This way, when you've got a whole bunch of boxes stacked, you can't read the tops. So make sure you're labeling the sides of the box. And I usually try and do 2 sides because if you've got them backed in a corner, you want to make sure you have something that's accessible instead of having to move all the boxes to figure out what's in that one box that is at the bottom. Okay, a tools and parts box. There's a couple different ways to do this, but you're going to want to have one that has kind of all your basic things, your 2 different types of screwdrivers, maybe a hammer, a box of some different sizes of nails, of things that you might want to hang up early on in the new place, and then also little bags that will be either labeled or you can put like a little piece of paper in them or something like that that just says what it's for, and those are like your screws or your attachments for putting a bed together, putting a table or chairs together, and various other furniture that you're going to want to get set up and want to be able to find those small pieces to complete the process. So the other thing that you can do, take a piece of packing tape and instead of throwing the little bag in the box, take your bag of screws and parts and whatnot and tape it to the underside of the table or tape it to one of the crossboards for the bed or something like that. This way, you don't want to put it on the finished wood because sometimes tape can be a little bit rough on that, but that's another way to be able to keep with the parts with the actual furniture. When you are packing up your truck, keep the beds the most accessible. You might do some unpacking when you get to the new place, but the one thing that you're going to want to do, especially if you have kids, is be able to put them to bed. Worst case scenario, if it's just the mattress, you can always make the bed on the mattress and then assemble the bed later. But ideally, have the beds first thing off the truck, throw them up, and then that can be something that's ready to go. And also it kind of helps it feel a little bit more like home really quickly. Another piece when it comes to loading and unloading your truck, rent, borrow, beg, borrow, steal, a hand truck. To be able to move piles of boxes at a time will cut your time exponentially. Kind of goes without saying, but it's one of those things that you don't think of it until you're in the middle of the move, and who's going to stop in the middle and run down to the U-Haul or Walmart or, Home Depot to go borrow one of those. Recruiting and hiring with pizza. Usually can't go wrong with pizza. You might need gluten-free. I'd recommend Domino's for that one. But pizza, have drinks, have snacks, maybe a fruit tray if you got a lot of people trying to be more on the health conscious end. But generally speaking, pizza is a good crowd pleaser. you know, invite people on over. Hey, it's moving day. That's when you know who your real friends are. Who's going to show up? And also maybe who really loves pizza. When you're going to your U-Haul and you're going to do that rental, one of the options that they give you is some of that padding to wrap around things like TVs, any maybe art pieces or fragile things that you don't want to get dinged as they're kind of getting bounced around a little bit in the truck. But a hack there, money saver, and might even save you a bit of space is use what you already have. Extra comforters, extra like throw blankets, even pillows. You can wrap those around. Saran wrap will also be your friend. Buy an extra pack or two and just kind of wrap that around. You can buy like, there's a moving version and it's like green and it comes on like this little rolly thing, kind of like a rolling pin. But just regular saran wrap. That's basically what it is. Just a little more heavy duty. And you're kind of using it to wrap your padding around what it is that you're protecting. Really easy fix, super cheap, things you already have and things you already have to move too. So kind of two birds with one stone. Things that you already have, your drawer organizers, and maybe even your actual drawers. If you're not moving like to another state, probably not the best plan if you're doing a big move, but across town, you can take drawers out of a dresser, just wrap up the drawer with the clothes in it. You have a little like utensil drawer organizer, just take the whole utensil drawer. Well, don't take the drawer out because you probably want to leave the buyer their drawer in the kitchen. But the little organizer that you keep in that drawer, forks, knives, spoons, so on and so forth, wrap it up either with saran wrap or my favorite tool of choice, press and seal. If you have not discovered press and seal yet, go to the store. Just go get it. Save yourself some headache. It like you can cover paint trays and it like keeps them fresh, keeps them spill free. Kids' drinks, if they're like working on stuff at the table and then they step away, rip off a piece of press and seal, pop it on the top. There you go. And of course, leftovers and all that stuff. So the only thing I haven't found is it doesn't work very well when the dishes are already cold. Not sure what that's about. You can also use the press and seal and put a sheet down. This works with ground beef, but we're not going there right now. You can put a sheet down and put your jewelry in it, and this works great even. Okay, different sizes of boxes. This is something when my husband and I made our first move that you just don't think of as much. And then when you go to load up your standard size of box full of books or plates, and then you go to lift it and you about pass out. There's a reason that the U-Haul box bundles come with book boxes and small boxes and medium boxes and large boxes. There will be things like maybe comforters if you're not using them to wrap your other furniture, or pillows, or even some clothes. But I've also found super helpful, and this isn't one that you'll typically find as a free box, but I'm a big fan of those wardrobe boxes because even if you need to, as you're coming to the end of your move, you can stick the last minute things in it so that you have nothing in the closet. If you have to do any painting or any like touch-ups or anything like that, you can just keep your things in the wardrobe box and know that it's safe, know that you can just kind of throw the flaps over the top when the time's come to actually head out the door, and you've got your stuff all together. And then when you move, it's pretty unmistakable that that's the box where your clothes are. Not to mention, if you've got kids, those will double as entertainment later. I remember when I was a kid, box forts, like that was the thing. Who cares what comes in the package? Just give me the box. So your kids will definitely find that entertaining. You'll have small boxes for hallways, and then they can use like the wardrobe boxes. They can make like a kitchen, and they can make like a rocket ship. I don't know. My kids come up with all kinds of crazy stuff, but they definitely will come in handy later. And worst case scenario, you find somebody else that I'm sure will greatly appreciate donated boxes for their move. Keep an eye out for another video on where you can get boxes for free and not have to worry about paying for the ones that you need. Okay, you're coming to the end of your packing process and you are running out of dishes. You need to feed your kids, you need to eat, maybe, who knows, some days you don't. Run to the store, invest in disposable utensils, disposable plates, bowls, so on and so forth. things that you're not going to need to worry about washing, save yourself some time and headache, and you'll also be able to just throw them out when you're done. Not to mention the styrofoam ones, not the most environmentally friendly, and I guess you could use the paper ones too, to stack your dishes on top of. Your circular plates, just do every other one with a disposable plate in between. We're coming to the end. If you are able, set aside an extra day. Have your day of packing and then leave yourself another day, a great day to, if you're planning to hire a cleaner or do your own cleaning, if you've got some touch-ups that need to be done, it gives you that time and that space with an empty house to just be able to get everything out. You don't have to worry about people tracking in rain or mud or grass. Don't have to worry about cooking any more meals, and then just giving you a chance to have that empty space to clear everything out, be able to kind of see what those buyers are going to be walking into so that you leave them with a great experience too. And finally, my favorite tip is the last minute box. Things that you're going to need right away and the things that you needed when you were about to head out the door. So think like kind of vacation things. What sorts of things do you need for bedtime? What sorts of things, can you tell I have kids? What sorts of things do you need for brushing teeth or meals that you cook very frequently? What kinds of things do you need for particular recipes that you cook very frequently? Just things that you're going to want to have handy and accessible. This kind of ties in with like the tools box, just kind of your more general things, certain blankets or pajamas. Think about using your suitcases, fill those with things that are going to be like kind of your last minute stuff. And you're getting to the new place, you know that that's where you're going to go to find various things, such as your 3-year-old's bunny that the world might end if we cannot find it right now. If you know anybody else who's looking to move in the near future, I'm sure that they would find this helpful. So feel free to go ahead and share this video with them as well. And as I mentioned, don't forget, make sure you click the link to download your free ultimate packing prep checklist and checklist for moving kids, because that's kind of an important one. You don't want to forget a kid, right? Just kidding. Maybe not. I'm Kristi Wampler, and when it comes to moving in and around Omaha, I'm here for your family.